with clever meme, with funny tweet, I'll never leave my office seat. Those who think they know what's right, listen on Sundays to NetHeads, all right?
You've got to throw some cold water on this situation. Start talking about nerd stuff.
You know, nerd culture is mainstream now. So when you use the word nerd derogatorily, it means you're the one that's out of the zeitgeist.
System activate.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. It's a tech podcast. But we are a ton cooler than your typical geek, giving you the info you need to achieve mega nerd status. NetHeads.
You guys rock.
And now, here's Will and Trent.
Yeah, that's right, Will.
That's us. I'm Trent.
I'm Will. We're the NetHeads. Not that we really know what that means, but we are them.
Uh-huh.
If you want to take part in the program, you can. One of many ways. One of them, Twitter. Trent, how do they do that?
Oh my gosh, Will, just use the hashtag NetHeads. Or like NetHeads.
Yeah,
Whatever.
exactly.
However you want to say it.
Yeah. You know, it's whichever way you want to choose. Or you could just say it like NetHead. And that way it sounds like meth head, and then we'll get arrested.
Yeah. Any way you want it, that's the NetHeads.
Whenever you start singing, I just go quiet now, because eventually I predict that there's going to be a compilation.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah. By the way, want to kick off the show. Very first thing I want to do is it is not time yet, but in 14 minutes on the East Coast, it will be past midnight, at which point then it will be the birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Of Ming Chen, the Minger himself.
Yeah.
Of the comic book men.
Yes, of comic book men, of I Sell Comics, of the Ming and Mike show.
Yeah, dude, how many podcasts is that? By the way,
I stopped counting.
I don't know if it's public knowledge yet, because I'm behind on podcasts. I didn't even get ours published, I think, until this morning.
Well, that's fine. That's okay.
But he's got something cooking, which I love, because it's similar to an idea I had ages ago, but he actually got it done. So,
but he did it, yeah.
Yeah, well, I got lots of ideas, Trent, but I just...
Yeah, you got these like a hat, that goes, beep, and a shirt that says talk to the hand.
Yeah, kind of, yeah, exactly. Just like
fucking ideas, man.
If we're happen to be live right now, so if you want to watch us live, you can netheadsonair.com/live, or you can listen to us. But if you're listening to us live, you know how you are. That's modcast.com/sir. All of this I say because if you want to take part in the program via another way than Twitter, you can give us a call. And if you're watching the video, there they are. You can call us at 866-610-9455, or you can call us at YakBet 9020. But best of all, just straight across on Skype. How do they do that, Trent?
Heads on air, all one word.
It's just that easy. Trent actually got privy to. We just dropped the latest episode of Smodcast on Smodcast, whatever.
Yes, smodcast.com.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a rush. It's got to get in before the 31st closes. And the cool thing about it is that I got to record a little ad that went on the front. The uncool thing is Trent had to listen to me record the ad.
Yeah, but it was all but one little hiccup, a full-on live read.
One take Johnny, baby.
Yeah, zip that one take Johnny. On to the next scene.
That's right, baby. Crank it out. Trent, I gotta tell you, man, I don't know what the fuck to do. Pardon my language. I hate to kick off so strong in the very beginning. However,
Salty McGee.
Yeah, a little bit. I have there's been a segment I've been wanting to start here on the show called Week of the Week. And the idea is that in the last week, what are some of the lamest things that we heard about? Something that is expressly weak sauce. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Like, for example, one I could do, which it might come as some surprise, because there's another topic I want to talk about. But
butt stuff?
No, not the butt stuff. But with week of the week, one of them, I don't know if you caught this, Trent, but as you know, there's this guy running for president named Donald Trump.
Dumb Donald.
You like that, huh?
Dumb Donald.
Did Michael Ian Black try to get that hashtag going, or is
he's been
else?
using it a lot, but I think I might have seen it elsewhere. But it wouldn't surprise me if it was him.
You know, he actually also wrote a book called Your Child's First Trump.
Oh, really?
Yes, I don't know anything else about it other than that.
Fucking love Michael Ian Black.
Yeah, so look that up on Amazon, or you can click the Amazon link on our site for Jensen Karp's book, and then you can search Amazon through that. The reason why I'm bringing this up, Melania Trump is his wife. Now, before Trump married her, she was a model.
Yes.
And it turns out that for whatever reason, the New York Post has posted within their pages today what they call the Ogle Office, and they've posted nude pictures that Melania Trump did when she was a model, like in 94 or 95.
I'm gonna Google that right now.
And I said, yeah, go find. Well, please don't. I want you to stick with the show, and I don't want to get like.
Yeah, no. That's why the video keeps me honest.
Okay, good. Hands above decks, friend.
Yep. Oh, hey-oh.
Oh, hand check. I call it one of the items for week of the week because like what bearing does this have on anything right now at all? I mean, realistically speaking.
Yeah, well, I would say it has to do with a woman's right to do what she wants with her body because, man, she has had a lot of work done since 94.
You think so? I don't know.
Oh, for sure, dude.
I didn't even bother looking. I saw the headline. I saw the cover. The whole point is,
not to mention she's handcuffed to a briefcase.
Oh, that's weird. I just don't understand what bearing it has, and that's why I say it's weak sauce. Because if anything, it's just I don't understand. I don't understand the point of it, other than guys like boobs.
But you gotta think about the context of the New York Post, which is, I mean, one of the last true tabloids that's still in print. You know what I mean? That's not TMZ.
Okay, I got you. I'm with you. So it's a tabloid. I mean?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, it didn't used to always be that way, but now the Post is straight up a tabloid.
Okay, so now I understand why they ran it, because they're printing and they gotta get people to buy the paper somehow.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And now little kids can have something that they can just buy off of the newsstand.
Yeah.
They don't have to use the JCPenney catalog.
Because there's no other way they could find nude women to look at.
Well, you know, they may not all have the internet. So anyway, that's just something to bear in mind, Trent, something to bear in mind. Now, this Sunday is the 31st of July. So, because, you know, I want you to percolate what you may have for the week of the week this week.
Well, and this one's not the greatest of things as I was thinking about it. However, man, Will, I bought a arcade stick for Street Fighter, you know, so it had the 8 buttons plus a joystick used on eBay, and the son of a bitch didn't work when I got it.
Oh, that's weak. I'm all for you.
That's super weak, but it's, you know, it's a no returns, buy as is type thing, so it was a shot in the dark.
And it's just straight up does not work.
2 buttons don't work at all. So I mean, essentially, it doesn't. You know, it's no good to me. It's dead to me. It looks, you know, cool.
You know, the awesome thing about that, then, Trent, is you have the opportunity to pop that bad boy up, open it.
I know,
and see if you can.
Yeah, I know. Which is a huge thing on the internet, man. I ended up just buying a new one that I got on Woot for an amazing deal. But modding these things is a big deal, to where if you do a combination of buttons, it will do a macro of whatever you've assigned it to do, and then, you know, whips out some crazy shit in Street Fighter. I haven't got that point yet, but maybe we'll go down that road eventually.
I can completely understand the attention and the draw there, because
oh, for sure, man.
If you can just, I mean, I think back in the day when I used to play World of Warcraft too, that was a major thing. I would build a macro to be able to fear something, because I would fear kite things. You know,
I'm sorry.
I would.
Excuse
by the
me?
way, I would fear kite things. You don't know it?
No, I'm not familiar with the term.
Okay, so God,
Sounds a little racist.
At least we're earning our cred as NetHeads in this one.
Yeah,
I mean, this
totally, dude.
This is talk that is almost Twitch worthy if it were 10 years ago.
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe 5.
ICP or MSN worthy.
There you go. Fear kiting is where if you're a caster that has the ability to fear things. Now, when you cast fear on something, it runs away.
Okay, sure.
So what you then do is you fear something, you cast fear on it, it's running away from you, and while you do that, then you cast damage over time spells on it.
Okay, this makes sense.
It's running away in fear and dying at the same time.
Yeah, and you're attacking simultaneously. It makes total sense to me.
Yeah, so that's what fear kiting is. And
with the term kite, I thought you were like you would like scare it and then you like lasso it and then you just kind of like hold on and it drags you like a steed or something. You know what I mean? Like a mount. So you don't. So it's like a freebie mount.
I really hope somebody puts that into a game sometime soon. I'm excited. I'd really dig on that.
So, like, if you've got no fear, you never have to get a mount. You can just, scare things away.
Hey, by the way, Trent, I got to tell you too. For San Diego Comic-Con, you were actually by the way, I also want to say hello to Super Bong Man on the Twitters. He stayed up to watch us tonight. Got coffee. And he's not here in the States because he said, "What time is it in the States?" That it gives me a clue. He's not here in the States.
Yeah. In fact, he is the admin for the TESD Army Ants and Other Smodco Stories Facebook page.
Oh, I love that dude.
He does a lot. He has a lot. Yeah, he's got his fingers on the pulse of everything going on Smodwise.
He does. I'm shocked he doesn't have my job.
Hey, easy now.
That's not crazy.
Yeah.
So I could understand that macroing in a game would be great, and with a game like Street Fighter, those moves aren't exactly easy because you got to do a swoop and two buttons and this and that.
Well, especially with when you're linking combos, that's the hard part where you want to get like a 15-hit combo. You can pre-program it.
By the way, Trent, before I partook in pharmaceutical America, I used to have anger issues. When I was dating my wife, here's the killer stud move I did. I brought my Super NES over to her house.
Yes.
And we were playing Street Fighter, and I had learned some dope moves, dude. Dope moves.
Bad move, Will. Shouldn't have done it.
Yeah, you know why? Because she was a button masher and kicked my ass.
Yep. There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse.
So much so, I actually said out loud, "I'm taking my game and going home."
Yeah. F this S, I'm going home.
Still married me, thank God.
Yeah. Well, that's why though. So maybe that's a cautionary tale to us all.
Yeah, so she could kick
let
my
the ladies
ass.
Win.
Yeah, let them win, buddies. But don't throw a little tantrum at the end.
Yeah. Well, I mean, unless it's a believable tantrum.
Yeah. So okay, so we've talked about some shit that sucks. Let's talk about the stuff that's good in the world. Okay. I over the past couple of days, I have had a lot of moments where, I made mention of this, as a father of a toddler, Trent, just as my Casper mattress is one of the things I love to fall asleep on, I am my daughter's favorite thing to sleep on. Okay.
Yeah.
She loves to cuddle up to daddy and fall asleep because I'm a heat generator and she's a heat generator, and I don't know. They just kind of mesh, and or it's because I'm fluffy. I don't know.
Well, hey, nothing wrong with that.
I got the extra padding that the baby loves. So, God, that sounded wrong the way I put it. Anyway, she loves to fall asleep on me, which has actually given me I have guilt sometimes when it comes to binging television shows. Okay. So if I'm pinned down by a baby that's sleeping, I view it as time that's okay to watch TV.
Okay.
And I have been binge watched because the season finale is airing right now on the West Coast. AMC's adaptation of Preacher.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is also executive produced by Adam Goldberg, Seth Rogen, and a dude that was on Breaking Bad whose name I can't remember, and I think it starts with Sam.
Okay.
And I got to tell you, Trent, I not purposely, I haven't read the Preacher comics yet.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Well, I have only experienced the television show.
Okay.
And I got to tell you, I can already tell you they're doing it right. They've created a show that was compelling enough to draw me in and get me going to each subsequent episode, which is the goal of television.
Sure. Yeah.
But they've done it in a way that's extremely entertaining. As a matter of fact, Trent, my mother is, I am 45 this year. I already turned 45. So you can imagine my mom's a bit older than I am.
Yes.
and she even watches Preacher. She got drawn
Really?
into it. It was
Shut
on
the front door.
I'm not fucking with you, dude. I don't know how it happened. Something else.
That's
ended,
rad, dude.
And my mom, she was watching Preacher. She got drawn into it. That's how good of quality television it is. It's enough to draw you in.
Yeah.
So I want to tell you, even though I haven't read the comic, I have a funny feeling the critics love it too. They're doing it right. They're doing it right by Preacher. Thank God. Because I know that this is a comic. Oh, did you hear that? That was Blair yelling at me.
Is that what that was?
I think so.
Yeah.
Blair? It could be that my wife, if I yell too loud,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
it's kind of irritating to the rest of the house. So
well, you get excited.
yeah, I do. I get really excited about talking on the internets.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Preacher, really good show, really compelling. Tonight is the season finale, and they've really built it up really well. As a matter of fact, even on the San Diego Comic-Con edition of Kevin Smith's new show, Geeking Out,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Seth Rogen even teased that, in the series finale tonight, he said, God's coming to Texas.
Oh, he's showing up.
You know what, though? I got to wonder, because I do know at least the synopsis of the comics.
Sure. Yeah.
And I understand the adventures they have. So we'll see. But I don't know if you know this, Trent. They got a lot of good talent in this. Zach and Miri's Ricky Mabe is in it.
Oh, sure. Uh-huh.
He plays the mayor. Lots of other good people. But most importantly, special appearance as it's billed throughout the series by none other than something Earl Haley. Joel Hurt, the guy that he was in Bad News Bears. And then later on, he made his comeback in Watchmen as...
Oh, yes.
You know which one I'm talking about, right? He's got 3 names, and that's always going to throw me for a loop. And I don't have Twitter right in front of me.
What character is he playing?
He plays a guy that's in charge of, and I love this, it is the Meat and Power Company. Meat and Power. Because in Texas, that's the only place.
That's all you really need. Yeah,
Meat and Power.
Yeah.
Honestly, it sounds like the name of Ron Swanson's favorite store.
Food and stuff.
Meat and Power, food and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
She married him because she realized she could push his buttons. Thank you, Leroy Velasquez.
I get it.
Lee Velasquez.
Yeah.
On Twitter. Yeah, isn't that funny?
Z Digital 13. You know what's funny? I was just gonna say that sounds like a Z Digital 13 joke.
Oh, there you go. That's what it was.
That's really funny.
So I highly recommend Preacher. And the cool thing is that at least on Comcast, well, all the stations, it used to be with on-demand stuff. They wouldn't leave up whole seasons. They would only run like the last 4.
2 weeks. Yep, exactly.
But really what I think is happening behind the scenes is that companies realize the power of being able to provide things. It's a binge nation now.
Absolutely.
So it's in their best interest when they're negotiating these deals up front with production companies.
For sure. Especially when they can pull from the data and see what everyone's watching when they're watching and then go forward with that.
Exactly. So by being able to provide everything online as well, or through the on-demand services, people can binge to catch up, because that's one of the things that would stop people from watching TV. It's like, well, It's already a few episodes in.
Started. Yeah.
I've already missed too much.
Yep.
And now you can't. So, I was able to binge on it, and I just ate it up, dude. The pilot episode was one of the strongest pilots I think I've ever seen.
Man, I can't wait for this to get out.
I know, dude. I'm telling you, I know you will love this, and it's
because the comic series. In fact, I think I'm on book 4 of rereading it all again. Like I'm in anticipation for it to be released.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask you, Trent. Does it start off with them on the road looking for God?
Yes. Like the first issue is. It's kind of a Pulp Fiction style thing where you're seeing the one part and then you go back and tell some of the past and then you jump forward again and then you go back.
This does that too.
Okay, good.
Oh,
good.
Well, and that's the thing too. It's very pulpy in the way that it's produced. For example, when the character of Cassidy is introduced, it starts off in an outrageous party scene on a plane. And then it just shifts into this serious ass-kicking scene. When there are fights on this, they don't screw around.
Good. I'm glad, because that's, I mean, the thing that worried, and again, I haven't seen it, so I'm not sure, but the thing that worried me going into it was the whole religion stuff.
By the way, Z Digital 13 says, "Fuck you." That's a good joke. You can tell your mom that joke.
Yeah, that's when you can tell your mom. File it.
Oh, I'm sorry. We may as well be talking like this because the entire show is inside jokes.
Wah, 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 wah,
Yeah,
wah.
pretty much. Nobody else is picking up. But man, oh man. So I got to tell you, Trent, that if it weren't that I was up against deadlines, I would have blown this off completely, and I would have been watching the season finale. It's on right now.
Well, and so I haven't jumped into it, but I've heard from multiple sources of a like Jib being Stranger Things on Netflix.
Oh yeah, that's the next thing I want to get into.
Okay, yeah, it's kind of like a mature sci-fi Goonies.
That's what I've heard.
Heard, like Erie, Indiana of sorts.
And I also see a lot of people making mention about like visual references in it, and I'm like, what is going on there? So it sounds like another good smart show. Let's face it, man, we are in the golden age of digital entertainment.
We so are, dude. There's so many to choose from.
There really are. I'm not kidding. Super Bong Man says Arseface, whatever. His makeup is cool. They never refer to him as that.
But he's in that's another thing I was really worried about.
Yeah,
they wouldn't be able to do that character.
Oh no, Eugene is in there, and but they only refer to him as Eugene. But every once in a while, characters say that the guy that looks like he's got an ass for a face.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So in a great part in the comic is like he's unintelligible, but it'll show like translation of what he's saying.
They subtitle every time he talks.
Oh shit, yes. That is so smart.
Wow, dude. You need to clean up a little?
Woo, no, camera keeps me safe. Camera keeps me honest.
Yeah, so I've got good news there. Preacher is solid.
Good. I'm glad.
And this thing, I mean, Preacher is a project that even Kevin and Scott were attached to at one point.
Well, and Kevin wrote a blurb for the book.
Yeah, so he's
on the cover of the current edition.
Yeah, I think it went through at least 3 studios in trying to get it made into a movie. And then finally we've had it land on AMC. And it's a perfect fit given their other Sunday night programming. I think.
For sure, dude. Yeah.
I mean, it's starting to feel like they're becoming the comic adaptation location. Aside from the DCW.
Yeah, the DC, that's funny. I feel like all these stories about Texas in the future, all the stories like this are going to be about Florida.
You think so? That it's gonna?
Yeah, it'll all be a Florida Man.
Well, I'm surprised. Has anyone started issuing the comic of Florida Man?
It's just a matter of time.
Why? Let's look. Do me a favor.
We need to get on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rip from the headlines.
we know people that are artists. We can get this done.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't see why not. I mean, if you can have Axe Cop happen.
Oh my God. I still can't get over the brilliance that is.
Well, it's a genius concept. There are things in life you hear it and you're just like, oh, crap, I wish I did that.
You're like, yep. You're just yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have my little younger brother tell me the story. I'm gonna draw it.
Yep.
Perfect. I should do that. I should do that with Blair as soon as
I was just gonna say you've got some good market research to go off of right now, Will.
She had a great day today. She was having a lot of fun, and earlier when both of my kids were downstairs, it was the damnedest thing. A fly was in the house. Now that's not too shocking, but I got to tell you, Trent, this fly had a sack on him like you wouldn't believe.
Wait,
not literally. I mean, figuratively. He had the stones.
Like he was ballsy.
He really was.
I thought it had testicles. I was like truck nuts. It's just swinging around, dodging them from your face. Ah!
Well, first of all, it landed on my glass, so it's like, you can't drink any of this.
Oh.
Then it flew away. So I went to we've got one of those things that looks like a little, badminton racket, but you press a button and it gets electrified, right?
Yes, I've seen those.
Yeah. So we've got one of those and they work very well. Okay. If you want some tech tips from the NetHeads here, I'm telling you right now, them electrified rackets are good for flies because you
Okay.
can also swing at them in the air while they're flying.
And it'll kill them.
Trent, I don't know if you know this. My wife is gonna. I brought we went on a date one night and I brought this up. I'm like, hey, interesting tidbit. Which, by the way, if you want to make sure a woman never wants to have sex with you, start a conversation by saying, interesting tidbit.
Yeah.
But interesting tidbit. The fly, the common house fly, sees at a refresh rate higher than even like the televisions we have. So technically, when it sees us moving towards it, the reason why those little fuckers get away so fast,
Because they saw it coming.
they see us faster than we see them. They do.
Yeah.
To them, we look kind of like how the Flash sees everything moving around him or not moving per se.
Yeah.
So anyway, so this fly, I went to go get the racket, and then I came back and I sat down. I'm like, okay, where is it? Because it was just flying around my daughter. And then I looked down at the racket, and it's on the edge of the racket.
That
Just-
mother, just sitting, just hanging out, not
Taunting
giving a
me.
shit.
Now you think at that point, Trent, because now what am I can't do anything. It's not in the electrified area at all. I can't touch them. Can't
Right.
do a thing. So then you think, okay, so landing on the implement of its destruction and taunting me, that's pretty ballsy, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
It goes from the racket to landing on my nose
Wait, what?
and stays there, Trent, like it's saying, go ahead, try and hit me, bitch. Go ahead.
Tell me you at least tried.
Fuck no. I'd be showing
Dude,
up with a
come
grid on my
on.
face right now.
You gotta try at least.
No, I don't want to be on video looking like a Belgian waffle. Thankfully, in case anyone cares, I did get the fly. So, and no, I can't create a fly. And yes, I killed life. Sorry.
How did you kill it?
Listen to you. I thought it was bad enough I was admitting to de-lifing this fly, but you're like,
Dude, it's a fly.
you're just like, dude, tell me so.
Nothing. The
how'd you
world
do it?
would not
Well,
be
hold on.
hurt if there was no all flies were gone. Same with mosquitoes.
How'd you do it? Oh, no, wait, hold on.
Come
Tell me slowly.
Tell me, yeah.
Let me turn down the lights. And
What
tell
were you wearing?
Yeah. Actually, it then just landed on the blanket right next to me, because there's always blankets on couches. It's the way
Yeah.
it goes. And so I just smacked the little sucker and fried his ass.
Motherfucker.
Well, hey, man, if you got an electrified racket, you got to smack them.
So, like, it doesn't like catch anything on fire, though, right? When, like, if you were to smack the blankets.
No, it didn't. It's just a little pop, pop, pop. I have not actually tried to go ahead and see if I could electrify myself with one. Although I do admit to putting on a dog collar and then to see if it would a shock one. However,
fucking hurt.
yeah, but dude, I did it. If you put on a bark collar, okay, it works
Yeah.
off of vibration. You could talk and get shocked, but I had to bark.
Oh no! See, we just had like one that had a button to shock the dog.
Yeah. Hey,
That one
the
hurts.
old radio DJ shock jock, whatever, Bubba the Love Sponge.
Yes.
He used to have a competition they would call Shock the Balls, where they would put one of those in somebody's
no.
pants, and you would see who could take the most. Or as I like to call it, human torture.
And you know who ended up getting the most?
No.
Hulk Hogan.
Oh, that's not
because
right.
because he won the case against Gawker over the whole Bubba the Love Sponge's wife thing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. God, how fucking weird is that, by
It's
the way?
really weird, dude.
And the weird thing too is that I think even Hulk Hogan acknowledges it. He's just like, I was in a dark place and I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
Yeah. Well, I know exactly what he was thinking.
I want to get laid.
He was full of pork. That's one of the things he says. Because they were just at a barbecue and he's like, oh, I'm so full of pork.
Wow. I
I
was
could
not
just-
aware that qualified as an aphrodisiac.
Not because I've watched it or anything.
No, I haven't. I don't look at such things. It's all right. You'll be okay, buddy. Don't worry about it. By the way, Trent, I don't know that I ever suspected. Actually, let me start off with something else first. Okay. It's an interesting thing, the world we live in. And I say this because we have so many different ways to interact with people now.
Right.
And, you live your life online as an open book. If you're willing,
I try to.
if you're willing to share it online, or if you're willing to share it, you'll put it online. You don't care.
Yeah.
But here we are. We're in an election year, right?
Ugh.
I got to admit something to you, Trent.
Ugh.
Okay, I will admit something. Okay, first of all, I like I've already said, I do take some meds. I participate in Pharmaceutical America.
Yeah, we all do.
Even with that,
Yeah.
I am having anxiety over this election year.
Oh, dude. Yep.
Now,
Yep.
I say that. However, without inclining either way, I admit, and I don't know if you have this, I have a certain hesitance to discuss anything political on our show, or post anything politically oriented online. And I don't know. What do you think? Is that an irrational fear? Should I just be able to say what I want to say, or what's your take?
Well, my take is you have, and I think people shouldn't. I think people should feel open to post and talk about whatever they want, knowing that there will be repercussions of some sort.
Okay, fair enough.
Do you know what I mean?
Now, case in point, interestingly enough, I do not think yet my mom has figured out how to listen to our show.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to put this out there, people, and folks. I'm saying this, but I'm saying it with a certain understanding. Nothing I will say will change your political views and your political ideology, your political desires, anything.
Nope.
Nothing you say will be able to change my political views and opinions. I'm not going to fault anyone for their political beliefs.
Right.
I hope they would not do so for me. That being said, in the current election, I can tell you that I will more than likely not vote for Donald Trump.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Now, mind you, I say that, and I have been posting some anti-Trump rhetoric on Twitter. Not myself. Most of the time, I'm retweeting things I find interesting.
Right.
Now,
kind of like how he retweets photos with SS soldiers in it.
God, I hope not. Anyway,
that happened today.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Let me try and get through this first. Because case in point,
that's actually my week of the week.
Like, yeah, yesterday, oh God, yesterday on or a few days ago, like for example on Facebook, my mom reposted an image. Repost this if you believe this is the future first family, and it was Donald Trump. So clearly, my mom supports Donald Trump.
Sure.
I was at my mom's helping her hang some blinds and move some drape rods today.
Yeah.
Because that's what, a good son does.
That's what you do, yeah.
And knowing what I knew and what she posted, I expressly avoided any political talk,
Sure.
Got out unscathed. However, now, like, for example, I don't really want to post stuff on Facebook because God knows I don't want to get into it with my mom.
Yep.
Right? And another thing too, like longtime listener to the show, still listens, doesn't call in anymore, but like Frank Rodriguez, Francis,
yeah.
He is I believe, a staunch Republican.
Sure, yeah, I believe that is correct. Yeah,
and I don't want to offend him. I don't want to alienate any listeners.
Sure.
However, all of that being said, I am completely. One of the things I thought during the primaries, Trent, I figured Trump was going to be his own worst enemy.
Right.
And somehow that didn't happen. Now,
nope.
Now that there is only Trump and Clinton, I'm still hoping he's going to be his own worst enemy. It seems like that's the way it's going.
Correct.
I never thought that American politics would become such an absolute shit show, though.
Just full on Looney Tunes, dude.
It is fucking nuts. There's no other. And
a sketch writer like Dan Harmon couldn't write this stuff.
No. Now, let's look at all of the things that happened this week. First of all, we all know. I even mentioned it, I think, on last week's show. Trump is obviously very vocal and in control of his own Twitter account.
Yep.
Which I am sure, again, there are people in the Trump campaign that are probably actively trying to get his phone away from him.
Yeah. I hope so.
I mean,
if he hires the best people, then that's what they're doing.
Well, Trent, he hires the best people, the absolute best people.
The best people.
The best people ever. No, he's not. They're still letting him tweet. And I say this because during this week we had the Democratic National Convention.
Yes.
I did watch all of it, much in the same way I watched I try to be informed, okay?
Right. Yeah,
Whether I agree with what people are saying on TV or not, I like to be informed. And for example, the Republican National Convention left me feeling dark and scared. I had to up my meds. The Democratic National Convention made me feel there's future and hope.
Yeah.
But there were some things that happened at the convention. And one of the things that has been very clear, I think, is that Donald Trump appears to have a thin skin. He's very reactionary.
He is. Yeah. Yes.
Now, you, Trent, aren't completely dialed in with the news as much as I am. I'm upset. Let me put it this way. Donald Trump's Twitter page is probably the most visited page that I go to for somebody I absolutely do not follow.
Because it's the Jersey Shore effect, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like none of us admired Snooki or thought she was neat or intelligent.
But we want to see the train wreck.
We're wondering if they were going to show someone get alcohol poisoning and die on TV.
Yeah. So with Trump and his tweets, he himself actually is just he reacted on Twitter and it didn't pan out well. He had, after day 2, I think it was, or even day 1, the following morning he had a press conference, right?
Yeah.
And this is one of the things. And he was quote unquote joking when he said that in relation to the 30,000 emails that Hillary deleted from her personal server because they were supposedly of a personal nature, he said, Russia, if you're listening and you have the emails, I'd love to see them. And so that caused a big hoo-ha about him soliciting a foreign government to do a cyber attack on America.
Yeah, for cyber espionage, yeah.
Okay, second thing. Now, that's one thing. Now I'm going to say, Trent, you who are not what we would call dialed in right now, you're doing what I'm saying is Trent's doing Trent. That's all I mean.
Gotta do me.
I'm not saying you are ignoring things. I'm not saying you are neglectful in any way. I'm just saying that you may have different priorities than looking at the news every 5 minutes like I am right now.
Sure. Right.
Plucking out my eyebrows while I do.
Yeah.
And I mean that in a stress manner, not like I'm
in stress-induced alopecia kind of way.
Pretty much. So have you heard any other little Trumpisms that have happened this week?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just want you to volunteer one. What's one that you've heard?
The big one was where his critique of the father and mother whose son died in Iraq.
Yeah, Saudi Arabian son, I think, or somewhere. They're of Middle East descent. Let's just put it that way.
And they are Muslim.
There you are.
And yeah.
And so, folks, if you're not aware of what a Gold Star family is, these are people that have lost somebody.
Yeah.
They have lost a son or daughter that was a soldier and they died in battle.
In combat, yeah.
Their son died 12 years ago, suicide bomber. He was caught in the explosion trying to protect and save people. And Trump's comment, let's just say he made comments about their comments. And he even said, I think on Twitter, I'm personally attacked and I can't say anything. Dickhead, no, you can't.
Yeah.
So
and it's what his critique was. See, like Muslims don't even let women speak. She didn't even get to say anything.
Yeah. Now, Trump. Trent is paraphrasing what Trump said, but that was essentially it. Of all things, first of all, that was one of the killer moments from the DNC when the father pulls, because he was saying that Trump, is if he hasn't read the Constitution, here's my, I've got a copy for you, and it was one in his pocket, and that's probably what really irked Trump. But now he's made, he made whatever comments he made, and he has been denounced by Republicans for his comments, denounced by Democrats naturally, but denounced by just about everybody.
Yeah,
for what he did. And the thing about this, here's what I'm gonna boil it down for you, Trent. Same thing I've said before. Regardless of his experience, regardless of the fact that he hasn't mapped out any of his policies, regardless of the fact he hasn't released his tax returns, which every single presidential candidate has done for at least the last 40 years.
Always done, and yep.
all of those things aside, actually, you know what? I think Hillary said it best in her speech when she said that you can't trust somebody that will go, I'm paraphrasing, will go nuts about something on Twitter. You can't trust them with nuclear codes. Which is true, but not my point. And so actually I take that back. What I'm saying, though, is that when it comes down to it, his behavior in his press conferences, his behavior in his tweets, his behavior at his rallies are not fundamentally what I would call presidential behavior.
I agree with that. Absolutely.
And that, my friends, from my perspective, is my fundamental problem with Trump.
Right.
There is nothing presidential in the way that he acts. There is nothing presidential in the way he carries himself.
Yep.
And that's my fundamental problem. Can I see him as president? No, I can't.
Yeah. No, yeah. Well, especially, dude. Oh my gosh. Especially if you got a chance to watch the interview on 60 Minutes with him and Pence. I read the transcript first, and then because I didn't want to download the 60 Minutes app, and then when I got to an actual computer, I watched it, and it is so. When you watch bad improv and you just feel awful. Because everyone involved is just it just feels really it's just an awful experience. There's just palatable awkwardness in the air. That's the entire interview. And I'm just thinking, wow, dude, this guy's gonna sit down and try and like bring the Middle East together to solve the problems in the Gaza Strip or wherever else we might be having issues. Like, holy shit. And that's what I mean. How can you consider somebody presidential when they're making nicknames for people? And I'm telling you right now, the first foreign dignitary, if he refers to Pretty Putin, boom. No, that's not going to go over well. No. Just not presidential. Roller Dog NC, Matthew Corey in North Carolina says, it seems so obvious when you guys talk about it. And yet, he's still got a chance at winning. Yep. Because he's tapped into legitimate anger that hasn't been addressed by their own party, which the ironic side thing, in my opinion, is it's because that's not the party that cares about those people or their problems. No, not really. What's really interesting, by the way, first of all, I'm excited at the fact that I at least finally got to learn what the term demagogue means. Oh, definition is Trump. Yeah, no shit. It's just his picture right there, all orange and scary looking. Yeah. So that was interesting. I got to learn that. But I'm like, look at this past week. Look at this past week alone. So far, he's come under fire for allegedly inviting a hack by a foreign nation against our country. Mm-hmm. He has claimed, first of all, he tweeted how unfair it is that the debates are against NFL football. Oh, nights, dude. Which then now the thing that stems from that is twofold. One, there's an independent committee that's formed for scheduling these things. It consists of both Republicans and Democrats, scheduled in September of 2015. And to top all that off, so the Democrats have nothing to do with that directly, or at least not Hillary's camp, but also claimed that he got a letter from the NFL, saying it was ridiculous. Now he's backing off that because the NFL said, we didn't send shit. Said, like, no, we never sent that to him. I don't know what you're talking about. So there's that. Then there was the whole thing with, like we're talking about, with the Khans and their family, and the fallout from that. And there's still one other thing. There's still, Trent, within 1 week, there's still one other thing that I'm even forgetting, where they're like, we didn't say that, or that didn't happen. Because here's the thing. If you look back at the New York Times, there was an article from Trump's ghostwriter for Art of the Deal. Yes. And somehow this guy came up with a way. Wait, what am I saying? the dude, the
I got it.
ghostwriter.
I got a message from my wife. Sorry, I got.
Oh, yeah.
See, it's so easy to distract William.
Yeah, I know, folks. That's all you got to do. Just jump on Twitter.
So so the ghostwriter somehow he got away with not having an NDA. So he has been freely talking about like Trump behind the scenes, like he's got attention deficit disorder. But one of the things that he said that seems to be making itself aware in the news is that Trump is very comfortable with lying to the point where he believes that it's fact.
Yes, no, I think that is very true. I really think that's true. He believes his own lies.
And now one of the things we are seeing in one of the things that we're seeing in the news is that his methodology, his rhetoric doesn't pan out anymore because he is now under greater scrutiny than he's ever been in his life.
Right.
And it's not panning out. Now, the other interesting, I mean, Jesus Christ, so much stuff. It's amazing. 1 week, Trent. Actually, honestly, we're talking about the last 3 or 4 days.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, this morning he did hit from his camp. They created this internet meme or whatever. It's the American flag, and it's got $100 like bills in the top, and then in the red stripes of the flag, they just did a Google search for World War II soldiers and bought the first one that was in there and dropped it in. They are SS World War II soldiers.
Yes, I'm sure it was completely accidental.
So, oops.
I mean, that can't be. Look, I'm starting to feel like somehow he has a campaign that's even more incompetent than Selena Meyer's staff on Veep on HBO.
That's what I'm saying, dude. You can't write this stuff.
He's got like an entire campaign camp of Jonahs.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? It's all nothing but Jonard. Z Digital 13 saying, unfortunately, Will, everything you're telling, everyone you're telling, I'm pretty sure the NetHeads family already agree with you. We're getting to know.
Yeah, no, hey, you know what? Sometimes it just feels good to preach to the choir.
Well, you know, Trent, the interesting thing about the election for me, too, is that one of the things I've always supported is people's ability to vote for whoever they want.
Sure.
And for people trying to break in with a third-party system with the Green Party, the Libertarians.
Yes.
You know, I've always freely said, go ahead. Now I'm at the point, however, where I'm like, I fully appreciate your ability to run for these third-party candidates, but can we please put country first?
and after that, we'll work on fixing the election problems.
Yeah, exactly. Let's all just focus on Trump or Hillary, guys. Pick one. You know, send a message to Johnson saying, "Look, buddy, I'm sorry.
Dude, run if you run next year, I'll be there."
Yeah, right. You know, and let's give it a shot in 4 years, buddy. I'm more than willing to let you because we won't be in this situation that we're in now.
Yeah.
God, Trent, the articles I've read, like there was a Houston Chronicle article that they had, I think for, I'm going to say at least, I'm going to pull a random number, 40. Because it seems to be the number. But for like the past 40 years, they had backed Republican nominees. They did back Obama in 2008. Then they switched back to Republican with Romney in 2012.
Yeah.
Anytime they've endorsed a candidate, it's been pretty late in the game, though. Out of the chute, they are backing Hillary. And then they break down all the reasons why they're backing her and not backing Trump. And by the way, this newspaper is in the same city where Ted Cruz lives, where where our first President Bush lives. I mean, this is oil country and meat country, folks. Energy and meat.
This is energy and meat, folks.
And we're not fucking around here.
Yeah.
So that hit. And that grabbed me so much. I like actually grabbed somebody else's Facebook breakdown of it because it was such a strong explanation of why this means something.
Yeah.
And now we're starting to see this where a lot of people that are staunch Republicans that are coming through the woodwork and they're making it known, we're not gonna vote Republican this time.
Yeah.
Because we just can't back this. And it's understandable, too, because like one letter I wrote was an open op-ed piece about a girl who's a Republican, and her dad wrote her a letter why he's not voting Republican this time. And part of the thing, people hate seeing these parallels, but I think the New York Times ran the original 1920 or 22 article about Hitler.
Yep.
His rise to power. And I kid you not, folks, if you take Hitler out, and if you just change little things, if you put Trump instead of Hitler and everything else, it's eerily similar.
Yep.
So what I'm saying about all of this is I am just shocked as shit about how much of a complete and utter scary show we got going on with our politics in this particular election.
Yeah, it is straight up a dumpster fire at this point. It's a mess.
Yeah,
it's a mess.
It's a tire fire, as Jensen Karp put it so affectionately.
Ugh.
So I just don't know, Trent, but I'm getting scared at how much I'm getting obsessed by it. But I'm not. But at the same time, I'm just retweeting things or reposting things. I'm not actually saying something. Although I will tell you, I got this was a great one. Let me find my phone. This was done. This was a post actually by one of my old bosses from Southern California. My wife's telling me to stop yelling. Sorry, honey.
She's got so much passion.
I got so much. By the way, the episode of Smodcast that just went up, I temporarily named it because Kevin's named and described all of these.
Sure, yeah.
I actually he texted back one of the points I got distracted. He said he loves it. So score me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Way to go. Let me just
put that up on your internet podcast database.
Yeah. The IPDB.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the EBDB, which is the Eskimo Brothers database.
And luckily, and if you're lucky enough in the area, you can go to the EDBDB.
Yeah, you can if you're in the right spot. Man, I'm gonna miss the league. I really am.
I was gonna say it's finished, right?
Yeah, it's done. They had their final season, so it should be. If it isn't on Netflix now, it should be soon.
Yeah, no, it is. It's up on Netflix.
There you go. Oh man, I meant the last season, but yeah, it was.
The last season is up.
It was just a good, fun, ridiculous show. Hold on, let me find this guy. Oh, there he was. I love the internet. I love how I can quickly look up things. Here we go. And I love this because, by the way, this is written also by a Republican. This is a person who has money. Okay, so the kind of person that really does like to back private business owner, attorney. This is the kind of guy. He's Republican oriented. Okay, you with me?
Yeah.
To my friends who support Donald Trump, what the fuck are you thinking?
Not pulling any punches.
I get it. You don't like Clinton. After over 25 years in the public eye, multiple attempts to find her guilty of some crime, and under the Republican leadership of over $50 million spent investigating her, she must be guilty. I find it funny that those who think where there is smoke, there must be fire, but yet when it comes to Donald Trump, you don't. Why are you voting for him? He has no formal policy on formal affairs, and what he says about it is universally challenged by both Democrats and Republican experts. His domestic policies lack any cohesive thoughts, according to bipartisan editorial boards and nonprofits. He doesn't believe that climate is being destroyed, even though 99.2% of the climate scientists agree. His entire platform is that he creates success, yet he refuses to show his tax returns like every candidate has done for decades. And many lawsuits filed against him indicate his success is at a cost of those he does business with. I implore you to not place someone in the most powerful position in the world whose idea of diplomacy is to beat them up. Stop. Listen to this. Stop fucking around and use your brain. This isn't a game, and we need someone who intellectually can be a grown-up.
Yeah.
Wow. But that's the kind of one thing you got to say. At least there's a lot of passion going on with the election this year.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that I mean, if you have to look at anything good, it's ignited a fire, you know.
It like to the point where I'm losing my shit. I kid you not, Trent. I'm like running this back like the Zapruder film. I'm looking at news. I'm like everything. I'm trying to correlate. I got a big board in my office now with yards.
You gotta figure it out, man.
I'm going full Homeland on this shit. Is what I'm saying. You know, the other interesting thing. Let's go ahead and dial this back. We got 6 more minutes, Trent. But let's dial this back to a NetHeads type thing.
Yeah.
An interesting thing that has come into play in this election has actually been cybercrime.
Correct.
One of the things that happened beforehand is that we got the DNC was hacked. Mm-hmm. The Democratic National Convention, they had a hacking issue occur. And then it turns out it could be that HRC's, Hillary Rodham Clinton's camp as well, they could have been hacked in this, one of the services they use. So that's kind of come up. Now, one of the other things that's in play, Julian Assange of WikiLeaks, who released the DNC emails. He's saying they do have more emails.
They've got more. Mm-hmm.
And he's saying that once released, he's confident that there will be a what's the term when a prosecution for Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Yeah, a criminal indictment.
There you go. That's the term I was looking for. So my question to you is, how do you feel personally about these outside influences impacting the election?
Well, it's shitty, but I'd have to say it's karmic retribution for all the influences that the United States has had in other countries' elections, be it Nicaragua, Pakistan, et cetera, et cetera. So it's awful and it's shitty. We do it all the time.
Trent, I got to tell you, man. Some people may think you're just some podunk guy in Utah, but that was some next level stuff, man.
Yeah,
seriously.
Yeah, I mean, it's we've got a long history of trying
politics,
absolutely trying to support one person and not another. Or supplying weapons to one camp so that we can get that person out.
And that's what happened with Saddam Hussein, didn't it?
I was gonna say Saddam Hussein, Gaddafi. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
Matthew Corey, what are your thoughts, sir?
Trent really opened it up for me. He left me speechless there. Like, yeah, I guess it is kind of karmic retribution. The other side, though, you hate to see outside forces, influencing the already easily influenced electorate in our country.
Mm-hmm. Now that Trent has put it in that framework, I completely understand. I will say though, it really seemed my other friend's post there really made me think though. It really is they're constantly trying to generate smoke,
right?
But
yes.
If anything, I wouldn't call her crooked Hillary. I would call her Teflon Hillary because nothing sticks.
He's like Nixon.
You remember?
He really is a lot like Nixon, actually.
Jeez, look at the big brain on Trent. What are you saying, Matt?
Oh, you remember when the guy before Paul Ryan became Speaker of the House? This other guy had been nominated.
Oh, the guy that looks like
mouth in an interview, and he's like, "Well, yeah, you see, we started all these, looking at all this Hillary. We started all these hearings, and now look, her poll numbers have come down." He accidentally told the truth, and then he was no longer the nominee for Speaker of the House.
John Boehner.
He was the one that was going to replace Boehner originally.
Okay.
Ryan.
And then
forget the guy's name.
So he basically straight up said, "Oh yeah, we did all this just so that way we could go ahead and
affect the which everyone understands. You just don't cop to it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to talk about that freely.
Well, I just wanted to say we all hear you. We get you. I know it's crazy. We all understand what you're going through.
But we all but that's the thing, Matt. That's
but you don't get it. You don't get how crazy it is.
Trent, no, that's the thing though. He's right. If you're listening to the sound of my voice, more than likely we do all get it. However, if you look at the rallies and you look at the turnout and you look at the support, there are a lot of people that don't get it.
Yeah. Yep.
And the question that remains, the question that is unanswered is how much of an effect do these people really have? How much will they have on the election? I've been reading a lot of stuff. Whoa, I sounded like Trump there for a second. It was like,
I've been reading the best articles.
Trent,
you wouldn't believe how believable these articles are.
You wouldn't believe how good these articles are. Okay, they're
huge
the best
articles.
They're huge. There's so many words in these articles.
By the way, how about that creepy thing about like The Simpsons years ago having the animation of Donald Trump
coming down the freaking escalator,
and then like it's like almost identical. You know what I mean? I don't know how much credence there is there. Actually, that's another interesting thing that came out this week. The Simpsons ran they did a short.
Yes.
And it was like, who do you want answering the phone at 3 a.m.? And they showed one of them, and it was Bill Clinton. And said, oh, it's for you. He's like, oh, ready room? I'll be right there. Oh, sorry, it's for you.
Yeah.
And Hillary's like, yeah, every time it's for me now. But then the other one, it cuts to 3 a.m. and it's Donald Trump in his bed obsessing over tweets in his thing. And then he's like, okay, I'll be right there. And then he's got a whole crew that comes in, and with all the makeup and spray tan and preparations and everything else to trump up Trump, it's like hours later and it's too late.
Yeah.
And then he goes right back to tweeting. So anyway, I've been reading lots of stuff. And one of the articles I read, because it's always interesting to see the state-by-state analysis. And you'll notice one thing that I found very interesting. Hillary Rodham Clinton actually has more money in her presidential bid pot, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
What's the grown-up term, Matt Corey, for her PAC or whatever it is, where she's got all her money?
The super PAC is like the one that supports you, but they're not officially part of the candidate.
Okay,
I think we can just say bank account.
Their coffers, whatever.
Yeah.
Coffer. There you go.
Apparently, actually, she's got more money in hers than Trump does. Like, basically, it's like 40 million to 2 million or 40 million to 20 million. It's like half. She's got
Correct.
twice as much as him.
Correct.
And so she is able to go on a tour of so many more states, and Trump's focusing on 4. Now, it turns out that one of the things is for the election, he has to hit a trifecta of states. He's got to get Pennsylvania, Florida, and one other I can't remember. And mind you, Pennsylvania has not voted for a Republican in many, many years.
Right. Yeah.
So that may, if you're one of those people that's afraid of Trump being the president, that's one of the things you can take away that may be okay then.
The crazy thing is he has been able to capture the media and media mentions so wholly that even just by March, he had already earned $2 billion with a B dollars worth of free media.
So you're saying it doesn't. Well, and that's one of the games he is playing.
Oh, for sure. Sure.
Look at this. We've dedicated 30 minutes of our podcast to talking about Trump. Fuck, we're the suckers, Matt.
I know. We're the marks. We're the marks in this one.
Jesus.
This podcast is going to be huge.
The biggest. It's going to be the best. Trent, this is going to be one of the best podcasts we've ever done. Huge. You've never heard podcasts like this. They're so good.
We're going to have superb audio.
We are. Actually, we are this time.
That's true. We are.
Anyway, Matt, was there another point you wanted to make? I wanted to make sure, because we kind of brought you into the conversation. And
I know it's just it's also scary that for what seems like common sense to a lot of people, there's someone like when he made those remarks about, the horrible response to the people who lost their son in Afghanistan. There were people out there that were going, hell yeah, you tell them.
Yep, exactly.
It's frightening.
That's the part that's scary, or the people that. But the question is, how many numbers do they really have when it comes to our electoral process?
How many people are watching CBS on a Friday night?
Oh shit! There you go. That'll tell us.
How many seasons did The Big Bang Theory get?
I don't know, but can we get Hillary Rodham Clinton on The Big Bang Theory like stat? Can we have a special summer episode?
We need her on NCIS. That'll really get them.
That'll knock them in. All right. Well, Matt, thank you very much for your call, man. Really appreciate it.
Have a great week.
All right. Try and stay unafraid, sir.
I shall.
Terrifying. That's one of the other funny things too, Trent, because when you use Twitter, I use the Twitter app on Android. I feel if you're using a straight up Android or a straight up app on your mobile device for it, I feel like the Android one is the best representation of the Twitter app, because
the Android Twitter app is solid.
Yeah, it even uses some of the Android isms, the Google isms. Like if you're managing multiple accounts, you can click on your account and scroll like here's me, there's NetHeads, there's Smunk. And one of the things that popped up while I was going through my feed, one of the things you do get are the sponsored tweets.
Yes.
And apparently one of the things that people have been buzzing about he who shall not be named, that what we'll do from now on.
Yes, I like that. Yeah, Voldemort.
But hold on. Harry Potter told us, though, and Dumbledore, by doing that, we actually give him more power.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's a toss-up. Anyway, one of the things that people are up in arms about. The Trump supporters they're pissed off because they're saying that Twitter is suppressing Trump's post, because if you look at his timeline, it doesn't contain the post that is a sponsored ad where he's saying, if you guys donate 1 million, I'm going to do a 1 million match, right?
Right, yeah.
And people are like, it's proof that's doing this. Now, however, I would like to tell everyone, if you believe that's the proof, I'd like you to remember all the people that aren't Trump supporters that see that ad are able to do something like I did, like report it as being offensive.
Yep, exactly.
At which point an automated system is going to suppress it. So don't blame Twitter. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah. Yeah, and that the same thing happened with Facebook too. Yeah. And the thing is, guys, like, it's an algorithm, so trust it.
Yeah, you just got to run with it, baby. And plus, I'm wondering, why exactly was that popping up in my feed? Is it because I made a mention of Trump at some point? So they're like, oh, Trump. Here you go. Here's your. And then I'm like, no, I'm not trumping. I am not trumping.
Yeah.
You're
drumping.
I'm drumping. That's right. Trumping or drumping? Which one are you? Well, I got to tell you, Trent, if nothing else, this has definitely at least been therapeutic for me. I can probably go out and be far less afraid of the free world now.
Yeah, you just gotta shake it out once in a while.
Every once in a while, sometimes that's the beauty of podcasting. We're able to sit down and we're able to talk about things, and sometimes we get. I don't know about you. Sometimes this has actually been very therapeutic for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, in the times you actually get to talk, I'm sure it might be therapeutic for you every once in a while.
I love Carl's Jr.
I don't blame you, man. Anyway, Trent's got work tomorrow. I got work tomorrow. We got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So everybody, if you weren't into the political talk, my apologies. All I can say is, hopefully in November, it'll all come to an end.
Yes.
That's one of the things too, by the way, Trent, I know we're trying to wrap up, but it's kind of interesting. I don't know if you noticed in the news, but this election, it is such a tire fire that Jon Stewart's coming back.
I know, dude. Yes.
And he actually, did you see his bid on Colbert?
Oh, Colbert owned it, dude.
I swear to God, Jon Stewart 2016. Can we do that?
I freaking love that man so much.
I really do too. Because at least, and that's the thing too. He really seems to be. He will be bipartisan where bipartisan is appropriate.
Sure. Oh yeah, yeah. He'll call anyone on their bullshit.
Yeah, and that's what I like. It didn't end in November back in 2000. That's what Miranda Janelle says.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, Donald Trump's still waiting for that birth certificate.
Well, no, 2000 is when George W. Bush.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Oh, that's true. It went all the way to February.
That's when W took office, and then took office in January of 2001, and then 9/11 happened, and
yeah.
Whew, by the way, that was one of the other interesting things that I will say about the DNC, and that's that I really wasn't aware of all the stuff that Hillary Clinton actually has done in the interest of public service.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I was not aware of that. So I got to say that at least in the items they presented, they did hit their mark with me. They definitely achieved a goal. So good on them. Yeah. Did we achieve a goal here? I have no idea. You definitely know I'm afraid of a Trump president. And you know I love Preacher. That's
good. Well, hey, those are both good things that I can support.
And we also learned that Trent bought a joystick that didn't work.
Son of a bitch.
And then he found one that will.
It does work, yeah.
And that's good because it's really important at your age to make sure you can play Street Fighter in a cool. No, actually,
in the most effective way possible.
Look, man, and actually, the other thing too. I love this moment. I'm scrolling through like Facebook or Twitter. I don't remember which one it was, and suddenly there's irateness from Trent around the Ryu stance.
Yeah, there's so many like Ryu clones. It just bothers me.
It's like they've just reskinned so many people.
Yeah, like it's not just make different characters already. Ugh.
Roller Dog NC says once the 24-hour news network started, the campaigns didn't stop.
It's true.
Anyway, folks, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We always appreciate every single one of you. And we went so far into the Reddit, we're not even going to bother talking about the ads. Just go to netheadsonair.com, see all the shit we're offering, and then click something. Do it. And go to apartofhim.com and read Trent's stuff. And
treat yourself.
Treat yourself. Thank you very much. Until next time, my name is Will.
I'm Trent.
and you've been listening to another edition of NetHeads on Smodco Internet Radio.
That's only at one place, smodcast.com.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker.
Signing off. I know, right? But stop being a little Nancy and deal with it.
NetHeads. We'll be back soon.
Goodbye.
This has been a production of Smodco Internet Radio. Sir, only at smodcast.com.
You know that little dance you do? People don't know this. You do that every week.
Yeah, dude, I love the Smodco theme.
Oh, the little
like I
whistle
really
thing?
love it.
I don't. You know, I was thinking about that the other day. It's been around for, I think, somewhere in the ballpark of 5 years now.
I was gonna say 5 or 6 years.
And I was thinking to myself, I wonder, is it time to change it? But I couldn't. It's the McDonald's theme from our youth. It's the Pepsi thing. It's Coke for a new generation. I don't know if we can get away from it now.
Why would you? You know
I don't think
mean?
I would want to.
It's the Uncola.
It is. Never had it, never will. That's another bald guy that does that. He did it much better than I did.
For 7-Up?
Yeah, remember?
Oh.
The Uncola. Oh, you don't know this. Never.
Because I mean, dude, the Uncola, like that's a slogan that started in the 50s, I think.
Really, I didn't know that.
It's been around a long time.
Wow. See, you've just been a font of knowledge today, Trent.
Well, it's mostly just because I write trivia once a week.
Well, thank goodness you do as well, because God, you filled in 10 minutes of show last week, and that made all the difference. It ended up becoming the title because it was the one thing that stuck out in my mind.
Yeah, we've got plenty more where that came from. I got like 4 years worth.
Well, maybe if we actually do start doing the show 2 times a week.
Whoa, hey, easy now. Let's not.
Crazy.
There you
All right, I won't. I'm just saying we could do it Thursday night trivia.
Dude, I know.
Yeah, you got, and all we're doing is repurposing content you already did. We're making it. We are doubling down on it, Trent, which means that all of the effort you put into it, we've now been able to write that off on a second project, if you will.
And then maybe we'll get a double down to come back.
That would be nice.
Oh, I fucking love that sandwich, dude.
I know you did, dude. And you know what? It was so powerful, the advertising of it on an episode of The Good Guys, that while you were here, we went and got one. We had to.
I recently rewatched some Good Guys episodes, and I gave that an all the stars rating on Netflix the other day because I want more shows like that in my queue.
Well, that's because there's nothing like the feeling, Trent, of busting punks.
It's true.